Hey Snowies fam, it's Lauren here with the OZtrail all-in-one camp kitchen, and I'm going to run you through the features. It's an extra large kitchen space with loads of versatility and a nice strong steel frame to hold all your camp kitchen needs. So your camp kitchen will come in this rather heavy duty bag, and its overall pack size is about 1 meter long by about 56 centimeters wide and about 30 centimeters tall when it's laying flat, because we've got this extra storage pocket which will hold bits and bobs on the front here. It also weighs just over 20 kilos as well. So the overall dimensions of our kitchen are about 2.5 meters long ways from complete end to complete end. It's 54 centimeters deep, and the tabletop itself sits at about 81 centimeters high. The total height of the kitchen itself is around about 132 centimeters. And then again, this additional height we've got with our lantern pole here is 190 centimeters. So we've got a couple of different components on our stove. The first one being the stove rack over here. Now, the dimensions of the stove rack are approximately 38 centimeters wide, and that's from this sort of front rail of wire to the back rail of wire here. It sits at about 77 centimeters high, and it's also 74 centimeters wide, and that's going from butting up against the edge of the tabletop here. Whilst we're talking about the stove rack, it does have a load rating of about 30 kilos. So bear in mind that's going to be your total weight, including your stove and any pots and food on top of that. Now I've grabbed an even temp, Coleman even temp stove here, and the reason why I've chosen this one is because it's probably one of our more popular stove options. It's quite chunky and obviously has the signature Coleman regulator arm, which adds a lot more extra size to your stove considerations. So as you can see, that one fits pretty comfortably, even with your wind guards up as well. So there's no issue fitting that one on the rack. You've also obviously got loads of space to adjust this regulator arm into whatever position you need it to be as well. So moving on down to the other end here, we have our dish rack, or our dishwashing station, which measures about 77 centimeters long by about 45 centimeters deep and about 83 centimeters tall in general. Now, this dish rack is not actually attached to the kitchen. It literally just sort of bumps up against it there, but when it is nested up against it, it's not not sort of moving around too much. I'll give it a bit of a sort of wobble test there. It's very solid. Obviously you've got your dish wire rack here to drain and dry stuff, and you've also got your washing tub, which we don't have an exact capacity for, but I'm gonna estimate it's around about 8 to 10 litres. So we've run through the two additional wings of the camp kitchen, but the main body of it itself is about 1 meter wide. And if we are not using our dishwashing station and just having our little mesh bin section out here, that'll give you an extra 28 centimeters of width out from the edge of the camp kitchen. So the kitchen or the bench top itself is a laminated MDF. It has a weight rating of about 30 kilos. So I'm pushing pretty heavy on this one. I'm putting a lot of weight into it, and there's just a tiny bit of give, but it's certainly not very much at all. It's very stable. It also, being the MDF laminate, it's not going to be super great to have hot things on there. It's not very heat resistant, which is why your stove rack is provided. So make sure that's where your stove's going, and that's where you're doing majority of your cooking as well. So the materials of the frame materials, I should say, are a powder coated steel. So it's nice and strong, and that's going to cover majority of your components of the full camp kitchen. Down the bottom here, we have 600 denier pantry, and I'll run through some more bits about that. So underneath our camp kitchen, we have this wire rack. So there is a weight rating of 8 kilos provided by OZtrail for this rack. But if I sort of put my hand in the middle here and I lean quite hard on that, you can see there's actually quite a lot of bow in this rack. So I would be really strongly encouraging you to be distributing anything that you're putting on there, so there's more of an even load across the rack itself. So up in the pantry section, we have our 2 doors. So obviously this one's like say a 2/3 to a 1/3 size pantry here. So this one's nice and wide. Both doors fully unzip, and they have these Velcro attachments on the side to stow the door away. You can see through the back here we have a nice broad mesh panel for breathability, and there's no shelf in this section here. It's just this this nice big bottom supporting piece of MDMF laminate as well. This is just a nice big cavity for you to put in like big pots and pans or cookware. Might also be an option for you to store a camp stove in here when not in use if it's small enough. The dimensions of this particular section are 35 centimeters deep here by around about 51 centimeters wide, and it has an overall height of about 42 centimeters. But just bear in mind, as you can see, like this, the door zip cuts in on that a little bit, so you might have some trouble getting something in there that's that full 42 centimeters width. So over here in our small section, as you can see, we've got a series of shelves. So they are 3 shelves in total. Each shelf is 31 centimeters deep by about 30 centimeters wide, and you've got 11 centimeters of space. So that 11 centimeters I've measured from here, but again, similarly to the other cupboard, you've got your front of the pantry in the top and the bottom that will sort of cut off some of that space, but it is 11 centimeters in all of those different sections. Now the pantry itself has got these Velcro tabs on each corner that will anchor it into the frame and just help to keep that pantry supported. And you've also got up the top here, if you can see, I'll just wriggle these out the way, these little webbing straps here that have a small little metal clip that attaches it to the frame. This means that your entire pantry compartment or section is fully removable, which allows you to give it a good hand wash if it gets dirty, or maybe you have a trip where you don't actually need or want to use the pantry. So that still gives you option for storing other things underneath. So moving up to the top section here, we have on this side just a little small pull-out rack here that would be enough for you to hang tea towels or face washes or also other longer utensils. If you want to hang utensils as well, we've got them 5 hooks up here on another little rack. So all these hooks are obviously fully removable, and you can set them up in whatever configuration you want, whether it's, you know, your dishwashing cloths or spatulas, tongs, all of that sort of stuff as well. Now, on the back of the kitchen here, we have this wire rack. Now this rack itself is fixed, and these little baskets are obviously, as you can see by me removing them, fully customizable in whatever height setting you want to sit them at. Now these are about 8 centimeters deep by around about 25 centimeters wide. So you can probably fit, you know, your sauce bottles or salt and pepper or olive oil or any other of your kind of basic cooking or dishwashing needs. So I mentioned the lantern pole before. The other awesome feature is you might not want to have your light super high up and cranked on a nice bright setting. If you're getting up in the middle of the night or something and you want to make yourself a sneaky hot chocolate and not disturb anybody, you can pop your lantern pole down nice and low, which obviously allows you to have a much lower lumen or less bright light and still be able to do all of your activities. So before we go, I'm gonna give this kitchen a bit of a shake test. We often get asked about how stable these things are. So I'm going to just try a front to back motion here. So I'm giving it a fair amount of muscle in here. I'm pushing it quite hard. So you can see and hear that it's wobbling a bit, but it's actually quite stable and feeling pretty solid. So if we go from side to side, similar sort of thing. I'm putting in quite a lot of strength here, and I can feel that there's a bit more movement this way than there was front to back, but it's certainly nothing to suggest the stability of the kitchen is poor or compromised in any way. Now, that is about it for the features. If you want to know more about how to set up and pack it away, check out our alternative video. Otherwise, you can get the OZtrail all-in-one camp kitchen from snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. If you found this video helpful, give us a like. If you've got any questions or comments, chuck them below. You can head here to subscribe or here for more helpful videos.